Hi everybody, good afternoon, happy Tuesday, Transformation Tuesday again here on Get Mental. And I'm sporting I can see my own reflection. I'm sporting my Get Mental t-shirt. Yeah, we have a lot of different designs going on our website, which is the Get Mental Today show.com or the getmentaltoday.com. Sorry about that, I'm still getting used to our own products. Anyway, welcome. Hi there, Ricky. Thanks for being here. And yeah, today we're going to tackle a controversial subject, which is egocentricity and what I'm calling socially acceptable narcissism, which I believe social media has in part created. I don't know that it's by design, but it really the way Facebook was formed, it really dug and plugged into the psychology of our minds and and our desire for social approval. Okay, so we're still talking about our June campaign, Mirror, Mirror on the Wall, who is the greatest of us all. And this week's topic, T and I are going to break down social approval and why we're driven. Many of us are driven by it, and why it's dangerous if you don't check yourself, okay? So basically, I want to start by normalizing social approval. We all have a desire and need to be liked and accepted, okay? It's a natural desire. There is nothing necessarily wrong with it, but I am going to talk about when it starts to get into an unhealthy territory. So we're social creatures to begin with, okay? We are wired for connection. We are wired for relationship. That's what makes us a human being. And the animal kingdom also has this desire, this primal need, but with human beings, it's even more pronounced. And, I'm not really sure exactly what the science is behind that, but I generally speaking, I know that because our brains are a lot more evolved than animal brain, that this desire is even more developed and strong. So why do we want to be liked, right? Well, when you think about it, the primal need is for us to be safe and to belong. If you've ever seen a hierarchy of needs, some of you I know about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And for those of you who have any interest in psychology and the way we thrive as human beings, I highly recommend you check it out. It's Abraham Maslow, Maslow, and he theorized that as human beings, there's a hierarchy of needs, and the bottom is food, shelter, clothing, and the top is self-actualization. Okay, I'm not going to go into that today. That's not what this talk is about. But basically, social approval is a form of belonging, which I believe is the second tier, if I'm remembering his theory correctly. And if you think about it, social approval, belonging to a part of a group, is part of what helps us feel safe. It gives us a sense of likability. And it helps with our self-esteem, The group that we belong to is a direct reflection or mirror back to us about how we're doing in the world, about, how we are liked and loved in the world, okay? So, again, it's normal to want to be liked. What we're talking about here is the persistent need to be liked. We want to help you differentiate that, because social media, I think, has created this, selfie effect, is another term I'm calling it. Basically, it's a me, myself, and I culture, right? Or it's becoming to be that way. At least that's what it looks like from, kind of the patterns of the posts that you have seen with many people. So I just want to explain a little bit about what happens to the brain and why this is kind of an effective and reinforcing and addictive process. Okay, so social media, you know how you have like the likes and the thumbs up, the loves, all of the kind of ways that we can affirm someone's post. There's a dopamine response that happens, and research has shown that what happens in the brain when we get a lot of likes and positive feedback is very similar to what happens in the addiction process. Okay, that's how deep this goes. I think Mark Zuckerberg hit the jackpot, you know, because we're all, you know, really prone to getting hooked if we're not careful and if we're not aware. So every time we get a like or some form of positive attention or negative attention even, or a form of social approval, right? The reward centers in our brain light up, okay? And it reinforces the desire to have more of it. This is why we go back and do it again. This is why you might find yourself checking, you know, has anybody liked my post? How many people have liked my post? What are they saying? You know, it's not super on the superficial end. It might just seem like you're just curious, you know, about like what people had to say about your post. But psychologically and from a kind of neurocircuit perspective, there is a chemical thing going on in our brains. It's similar. I'm going to repeat this again because I think it is worth reinforcing. The process is similar to what happens in the addiction process, okay? Reward centers of the brain light up and it makes you want more of it, okay? So that's why we have to be careful. And in psychology, there's a saying that we have, which is neurons that fire together, wire together. And what that means is the more we do something, whether it's a healthy or unhealthy behavior, the stronger these neurons fire and the stronger they tend to bond, which is why behavior change can be really difficult because you literally have to rewire your brain. Okay, this is why therapy is people have to study years and years and years for it. It's not just you know, giving advice and having a good heart. You also have to know kind of the biochemical processes that are happening to us as humans. And there is a science behind all of this, and thank God the research is becoming even more and more in-depth and great, really, and funding. There's a lot more funding that's happening now with mental health, which is awesome because I think, you know, it's overdue, really. So again, you know, neurons that fire together, wire together. So the more we do this, like, you know, posting and getting the feedback, the more that the desire strengthens. And, you know, again, I'm not saying there's something wrong with you. I mean, I do it too, you know. It's just really about having an awareness and a kind of a reflective stance on what your intention is when you are posting these things. Also, when you don't get the response that you would like, that's really where the rubber meets the road. That's where you're going to know where your self-esteem really is in that moment. So the tip here is to not take some of these things so personally, because the likes is not necessarily a reflection of your worth, even though yes, it feels good, and now you have some idea and context as to why it feels good and as to why you're going for it. You know, the bigger picture is it's really not a reflection of your value or worth, and that's sometimes where people have a hard time differentiating. Okay, and if this is a pattern for you, as if you've been hearing me talk now for a few months, you probably know what I'm going to say, which is please seek the help of a experienced professional, a therapist who can help unstick you and unblend some of these things for you. Okay, so that's the good news, is that there are many effective therapies that can help us with our self-esteem, with our behaviors, It can help heal some of the trauma. It can look at, we can assess for like kind of what your areas of pain, insecurity, woundedness are, and together we can help you get to where you want to be and live the life that you want to live. So again, no judgment here. It's just more for education. Thank you guys for watching. Crystal and Kim, if you have any questions, please type away. Do you like my shirt? It's just a simple shirt, but I thought, it's cool. I'll wear it. So ways to balance our need for social approval, right? Because again, remember, this is normal. We all want to belong. We all want to be accepted. We all want safety, love, belonging, acceptance. We just don't want to overfunction and overdo it and be codependent in our desire for it. We want to balance our need for social approval. So one of the things that I suggest you guys think about is what your attention-seeking behaviors are. Okay, so just as a form of experiment, behavioral experiment for yourself, before you send a post, just pause for a second and ask yourself, what is my intention? Truly, if I was being 100% honest with myself, what is my intention for posting this? Okay, that's just kind of an exercise to start to get you connected with kind of your unconscious desires, okay, and your unconscious motivations. And whatever you decide to do after that, that's between you and yourself. But it's just a way to be more connected to that inner life that I always refer to. So what is your agenda or intention for sending this post out, or for doing anything that is designed to get some kind of a response or attention? And the bigger question is, what are your attention-seeking behaviors? What are some of the things that you do to get attention? How do you get your needs met? Okay, so that's a loaded question. What are your attention-seeking behaviors? How do you get your needs met? Last question you can ask yourself is, what attention am I going for? Am I going for positive attention? Negative attention? Okay, I'm simplifying this in a way because we're not in a therapy session. But, generally speaking, that's what you want to start thinking about. We all seek attention, okay? It's a normal need, okay? I'm just reinforcing that. But how do we do it? What are the ways we get our needs met? And that process of how we get our needs met is largely a learned behavior. It's a combination of modeling and a combination of the messages that we were given about relationships, about how we were loved or not loved, okay? How we watched conflict in our family, how we watched our loved ones and role models navigate relationships and how they moved in the world. So a lot of these things we pick up along the way. And, for a lot of people, I think the danger is if you don't examine or evaluate this desire, this behavior, right? The next thing you know is you can become addicted to social media, addicted to getting your needs met through that digital form, okay? And that's where the slippery slope can begin, when you're constantly just checking your phone, just mindlessly, or it seems as if it's mindlessly, right? That's when okay, maybe I need to slow down, take a break, take a detox, or, people with a healthier relationship with it, it's fine for them. It's like, it's a tool that they use, but it's not something that they know there's a healthy separation that, whether I get likes or not, I'm cool. I like myself. It's okay. That's not how I'm basing my worth. But that differentiation can be really hard, I think, as time goes by and as this behavior becomes ingrained, because like I said, the neurons that are firing together are wiring together and getting stronger and creating, putting you on the path to kind of addictive processes and, just watching, just watch it basically, because Get Mental is really about just helping people come to a place of more balance, more awareness, and healthier behaviors. It's not about perfection, right? It's ultimately about awareness, because that is what directly impacts our quality of life and our mental and emotional health. So hopefully you guys found this little talk informative. Again, social approval is a normal, healthy desire. You just want to watch your pattern as to how you try to get it, and what your agendas are when you're trying to get attention, and maybe consider, if you're stuck in a pattern of engaging in unhealthy behaviors or dysfunctional behaviors, or you're doing everything you think you know, and you're still not getting the success that you want, and you're not getting kind of the needs that you want met, that may be really a time to consider professional help. Okay, remember, we all have issues. There's no shame in that. So be well, be gentle, get mental, because we all have issues. Thank you so much for listening. Tune in next Thursday for Think Through It Thursday, where T breaks this down from kind of a street side perspective. And check out our website, getmentaltoday.com, or sorry, getmentalshow.com. I'm gonna write that down on the post so that you guys can have it for reference. Bye, take care.